So the podcast is called A Name for Yourself, and I gave you kind of some background of where that comes from, and you're obviously very familiar with it. But it's the story of the Tower of Babel, and it's in Genesis chapter 11, I think. And all the people of the nations of the earth are gathered in one spot, and they conspire, if you will, to build this tower. And it sounds on the surface like, yeah, you're building a tower. We build lots of skyscrapers and towers. What's the big deal? You get a glimpse a little bit into their motivation behind it, because they say things like, let's do this and let's make a name for ourselves. And God doesn't outright condemn them for that statement, but the situation he does, and he scatters them and splits them up, and so that was a lot of where the name for this was going to be kind of derived from, because I think there are a lot of questions that people of faith have, but even if you're not a person of faith, of just how do I balance passion, motivation, drive, maybe even creativity, with not wanting selfish ambition, not wanting to build something to make a name for myself that builds myself up, that puffs myself up, but at the same time knowing that that's sometimes just a natural consequence of building things. You do get a name for yourself. You do have a good reputation, and those are all good things to aspire for. So curious what your thoughts would be on that, because from a distance you can typically tell someone when you kind of look at them. You kind of know where they might be at. If it's okay to just judge briefly or kind of broad brush, you kind of know, like, yeah, I can tell where their ambition is or where their heart is. So how would you recommend navigating those waters?
I feel like that was at least 4 of your questions.
Into one.
Yes.
Yeah, super efficient.
What came to mind for me, first off, everyone has a name for themselves already. Some good.
Yeah.
And when it comes to having a good name, right away, scripture came to mind for me. Proverbs, I want to say 2 verse 1. I hate to say chapter and verse because I almost never get it right.
It's in there. Just trust us.
It's in the Bible. But it says that to have a good name is better or more desirable than riches. Mm-hmm. And I can definitely attest to that. Just even in our community, you can look around and consider different individuals, and what they're known for, what their reputation is. Mm-hmm. And it usually doesn't have anything to do with the economics of the situation. It's how they treat people. It's how they conduct their business. And it's hard to reel that back in once you've done something that shows who you are. Mm-hmm. So I try to focus on that as an important aspect of, am I being diligent in what I'm doing? So whatever my area of responsibility is, whatever my tasks are, am I diligently performing them? Am I giving it my best? When it comes to who I'm doing it for, am I operating in submission to them? Mm-hmm. Am I coming in under their authority, or am I trying to somehow steer the ship from the middle of the pack? It doesn't work.
Sure.
When it comes to the notion of selfish ambition, I think about the why. Why do it? If the reason for doing it is to draw attention to myself or to puff myself up, pat myself on the back, it's probably not a good enough reason. But if it's going to encourage someone else or bless them in some way, then it has value. Then it's worth doing. And that could be for an in-house customer. Could be someone at Relco that needs something to do their job better, and I'm able to oversee the project that equips them with that. Could be for a customer, and we're able to provide a service that meets their need and keeps them in compliance and lets them be profitable and run with what they're doing.